In Genesis chapter 26, verse 24, the Bible says, "And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake." Frederick Douglass, in a speech given August 3rd, 1857 at Canandaigua, New York, stated, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters." Note that particular phrase: if there is no struggle, there is no progress. This is true of both liberty and spirituality. Isaac's life had been one of ease till the 26th chapter of Genesis. He had inherited his father's great wealth, all of his servants, married a beautiful woman, and had twin boys. The events of his life would, however, prove that God leads us to where we can realize our need of him. See Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3. The chapter begins with God giving directions to Isaac not to go to Egypt during the famine, and then promising, "I will be with you." Isaac then lies to Abimelech, a Philistine king, about Rebekah's identity. Here's where it gets really interesting. After being chastised by Abimelech for his lie, he sows and reaps 100-fold in the same year. The men of that place become jealous because of his wealth and prosperity. The wells dug by his father are filled by the men of the country. Ultimately, he's asked to leave because of his greatness. He moves a distance away, and as his men begin to dig wells, ownership of the wells is contested with the locals. And so he moves yet again. After finally digging a well that is not contested, he receives a visit from God. "And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake." Did you notice what happened? The transition is subtle but powerful. God opens with the promise, "I will." When Isaac's life is filled with complications, rejections, his own failures, God says, "Fear not, I am with you." Each one of us goes through a transition where it seems we have nothing to fear because things are going well. Not perfect, but well. We've got a plan, we're working a relationship that's hopeful, a job that's comfortable, etc., etc. Then when the world feels like it's caving in on us, God's promises become relevant. He's no longer the God of "I will," but the "I am" God. Just here, my friends, is the struggle. God's prophetic, predictive promises foretell when, how, and why we will need him. Recognizing our need for him usually involves something that exposes the people, plans, processes, and places we've put our trust in to be unworthy of that trust. Is the struggle necessary? Yes, but why? And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say, "She is my wife, lest," said he, "the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon." Genesis 26:7. Isaac's example teaches us two things. First, fear convinced Isaac living in his lie was better than living while trusting in God. Second, God tries to get our attention first through blessing us beyond logic, and when we don't respond, he allows our choices to begin to bear fruit. Please remember, the struggle is real and necessary, not because of God's nature, but because of ours. God uses our struggles to liberate us from enslavement to our fears. It is here the wonderful transition takes place, where we go from fear to faith.